I'm Reen Schwarzer, and you're listening to the Giant Sword Podcast. Microphones, activate!
Hello and welcome to this week's Giant Sword Podcast. I'm your party leader, Nick. Joining me as always is Brandon.
Hey, what's up?
And Taylor.
Howdy.
Howdy, we've been gone for a long time. It's the holiday season, so of course this is going to happen. How was everyone's Thanksgivings?
I had two Thanksgivings, pretty much. I had like a normal family-ish one and then like a Friendsgiving type thing.
How do you have a family-ish one? There's no family over here.
I went with Matt to his girlfriend's family's house. And so they have a big Southern Thanksgiving, so had some food that I normally don't for Thanksgiving, but that's okay. Good food, so good.
Anything's better than Taco Bell, right?
That's right. Anything's better than Taco Bell, ain't that the truth? But yeah, that was good. Lots of relaxing, lots of watching movies and falling asleep. So yeah, it was good.
What about you, Shadow?
I had a really interesting Thanksgiving. I didn't go to visit any family because my family's a little bit crazy about the global pandemic going on. So we had to get on Zoom, and we ate on Zoom pretty much.
Did you make?
That's probably the smart thing to do.
Yeah, but my mom, she did send me a like a care package of Thanksgiving food beforehand.
Oh, that's good.
That's nice.
So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. Just had a small Thanksgiving compared to what we usually have. Made 2 turkeys.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Did you cook them?
I cooked one. Like, I get a free turkey from work, so I cook that,
Oh.
and then my dad gets a turkey.
Okay.
That's what happens. Yeah, it was yummy. Just posted it on our Discord.
Oh, really? I'm gonna see. Did you barbecue yours, or how did you cook it?
I smoked it.
Oh.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I did like nothing to it. I was just checking out this barbecue recipe, and all they did was inject it with butter, and then put salt and pepper, and then smoked it for about 4 hours.
Dang.
And it turned out awesome. No brining, nothing. It's like, sweet. Cool.
Sweet.
But yeah, so there's been some crazy news. Apparently there's going to be a new The World Ends With You. How do you guys...
Where did that...
Yeah,
out of nowhere.
Bam, there it is. For the PS4 and Switch. How are you guys thinking about it's summer 2021, and it's a PS4 game and a Switch game.
I'm really excited about it. I always loved The World Ends With You. I played it way back in the day. I think I played it when it first came out in 2007. I don't think I beat it until like 2009. But I really loved that game. Really enjoyed the style, the characters. The combat system was a little bit iffy even on Nintendo DS. You know, you could use the dual screens to fight, and you had to control the top and bottom screen characters at the same time, which I could never ever do. So there was like this auto battle function that allowed the AI to take control of the top screen for you, which I absolutely loved, and I did that for the whole game. Yeah, it's been quite a while. They've been hinting at this for a really long time.
Really?
Every time the World Ends With You got ported to another platform, there was something added to it to hint at a sequel. Like when it came out to Android and iOS, it had like a secret ending with a character on it. And then they did something else with the re-release on Switch as well that also hinted at another sequel to the game. And then of course they set up that countdown website, which everybody was worried as a motherfucker that it was either the anime counting down to, or it was like another mobile game or something like that. Which would have been, yeah.
And you can't blame them because that's all that Square has done for the last like decade.
All Square has done, man, and that's all they do is make announcement for announcement, and you never know what to expect. But this one came to fruition. Finally, a sequel or another game. I don't know what's going on with this game. They haven't really indicated as to what this is so far. But one of the things that I think this game has to live up to, at least for me personally, just like Persona 5 did, it's got to nail the music. It has to nail the music. The music in The War Ends With You is legendary. It's a classic. Unfortunately, I have to say that. It's been 10 years since the game came out. It still hits today. That whole game still hits today. It's still like a modern game, even for being 10 years old.
So I have
Still
it.
hit.
I got it for the Switch, but I haven't played it yet. Should I? After
Honestly, I gotta be honest with you. I really wanted to get the Switch version, but at the time I don't think I had either the funds to get it, or I was just playing something else. But from what I've heard, it's a really bad port control-wise. Like the controls are terrible. But I think that's only if you choose to play docked, I believe. I'm not sure. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, unless you're willing to play undocked or something like that, because it's really meant to be a handheld game.
I always play undocked. To answer your question, it says that this is a follow-up to the last game, so I think it is a sequel.
It's a follow-up. Okay, so it definitely is a sequel. Okay, I was just wondering because like there's one of the characters in it, and his name is Sho Minamoto. I think that's how you pronounce his name. But he looks the exact same way he did in the first War Ends With You game. So I don't know how much time has passed, but he looks the same. It's been like 10 years if they're going by like, actual real life time, in game time, I don't know, but he looks the same. So I don't know. I'm thinking maybe he's another character or something like that, or his son, or maybe I don't know.
So the question is this going to be tied to Kingdom Hearts 4 somehow?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, yeah, it was. I think the secret ending in Kingdom Hearts 3 indicated that God, what's his name? Sora and Riku were in the World Ends With You world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because they technically they were. I mean, that the World Ends With You characters were in Dream Drop Distance. They're part of. They're part of the game. They're part of the series.
Yeah. I think I made a tweet about that. I joked about that. I'm like, what are the chances of that the ending is like a teaser for Kingdom Hearts, or ties into Kingdom Hearts, or Sora shows up, or I forget what I said, but yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
I'm pretty sure. Taylor, I think your mic is on webcam mic right now.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, you not sound.
Oh crap! I unplugged it. Whoops. Hold on.
That's fine. Yeah. So I wonder if they're gonna change the controls, since you said the Switch port was bad control wise. How are they gonna set it up?
Yeah, they're probably, like, from what I've seen of the game, we only got that one trailer, but we did see gameplay. It seems to be an action game, so I don't think the controls are going to be too much of a problem. So I think they'll move over to a more action style focus, maybe just not button mashing, but you just press buttons like normal. You move around like you would any 3D action game. So we should be fine on the controls.
Yeah.
I was looking at the trailer recently. I think it's going to play like Valkyrie Profile, because you have the pins. I don't know if you noticed, but there's 4 pins on the screen, and they each have a bar that slowly fills up. So I'm wondering if that's just an action tied to a character or something like that, and then you just switch who goes. But again, it's hard to tell. There's only been one trailer, but that was my guess.
I was thinking that those pins at the bottom, they were probably on cooldowns or something like that. So after you use them, they cool down, maybe, because I think they had a gauge underneath them as well. But depends how they worked in the DS game is that you had to make the motion with the stylus. And actually, I should mention that was pretty unreliable sometimes, because it was such a hard time to make the right precise movement with the stylus that eventually you just went with the bread and butter, basically the equivalent of a Hadoken or a Shoryuken of whatever the easiest motion to use. But like I said, controls shouldn't be a problem for this one.
That's good. That's good to hear. Very random surprising announcement.
Yeah, that's really good. It's coming out next year, so that's really good.
Middle next year.
Yeah.
What I love, I don't know if you guys saw any of this, but I loved how a lot of people were like, "Wow, what a Persona ripoff!"
Ooh,
I thought that was so funny.
That was hilarious. I was like, I saw The War Ends With You. I saw the trailer drop. I was looking on Twitter, and I saw Persona 5 trending. I'm like, what? Why is Persona 5 trending? Did something drop with Persona 5? No, it's morons, ignorant people, trolls, and dumbasses comparing this game, saying it ripped off Persona 5, which it just blows my mind. And it got to a point where, like, people were telling me that, if it's set in Tokyo, it has an anime look, it automatically ripped off Persona 5. I'm like, yo, you guys are insane. insane. I cannot believe anybody would make that comparison. Like, oh my god. I love people, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty silly.
Yeah. But yeah, Persona 5 was trending for a hot minute there. I was like, yo, you guys are out of control. This is why the Persona fan base gets the the Persona 5 fan base gets the bad rap that it gets. And I'm hearing that the Shin Megami Tensei fan base is just as bad.
Well, they're just so hardcore. Like, they want, it's a very old school fan base. I mean, you would know better than us, right? Because I haven't played any like true SMT games, but it seems like they want it very old school, very difficult, and I think that a lot of SMT fans are bitter that Persona got more popular. Is that what you say? That's a fair assessment?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Their Shin Megami Tensei has been pushed to the side. They barely getting anything, and they're getting hopefully Shin Megami Tensei 5 next year, and that's been in the works for the longest time. So.
That got confirmed, right, for 2021?
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
okay.
Okay. They actually showed gameplay, and Shadow had a happy dance.
Yeah, I went crazy.
It's real.
That's right. It said worldwide in 2021. That's right, and it's going to be a simultaneous worldwide release. Yeah, if I remember right.
Yep.
Okay.
Should be.
So, how mad would you be if it's more Persona than Shin Megami Tensei?
I wouldn't be surprised as long as it's fun. I'm not so deep in the Shin Megami Tensei world that I really care too much of what it needs to be like. But if they did go into the Persona route, which I can't see them doing, but if they did, I would accept it. I wouldn't be surprised. And I really wouldn't be surprised if, the Shin Megami Tensei fans lose their shit. I mean, it'd be entertaining as hell, but I'm not attached to it. I'm not attached to it. I am attached to a game keeping its spirit to a certain extent, like with Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. I heard that game, they messed up on that game on a couple of levels. It's a little bit choppy when it comes to the frame rate, but the biggest thing they did to that game is they added I don't think it was an autosave. I think it was a save anywhere feature. And that really kills the difficulty for Nocturne. Like that's part of the charm of Nocturne. Suffering, going through hell, going in the Kalpa, and just wondering if you can get back to the save spot. That's part of the difficulty. That's part of the anxiety. But the fact that they add a save anywhere feature that kills it for me. And one person I know, he was saying he was trying to get into the Shin Megami Tensei series. I was telling him, no, you're gonna suffer like I did. You better play the PS2 version of Nocturne. Okay.
That's funny.
Yeah. As long as they do it right with Shin Megami Tensei 5, I don't mind if they lean towards the Persona. Because at the end of the day, you're trying to get a new fan base into the game. And I want to say it's more about business than staying loyal to a fan base. It sucks to say, but it's more about what's going to make you money, what's going to resonate more with casuals. So it is what it is.
Yeah, my thought is I think it will probably keep a little bit of its identity, because otherwise, why not just make another Persona game? True. Like if they're going to do social links in high school and all that stuff, like just call it Persona 6. But it seems dark, right? I mean, all the trailers have been super dark, so I think it's really going to stick to that at least. I think that's definitely been a key component of SMT. Correct me if I'm wrong. So.
And there's still demons, not Personas.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still gonna be dark. Yeah.
All right. So speaking of old archaic games, Saga Frontier is being remastered for the for a lot of stuff: PS4, Switch, PC, iOS, and Android. Also in 2021 summer, I have this game on the PS1. Never played it though. I just own it, and I've seen Taylor's hot take of it being really bad.
Yep.
So Shadow, have you played this?
No, I didn't play the original on PS1. I did play a Saga game that was on PS2, and I played that for like maybe a day, and that was terrible, and I gave it right back to GameStop.
That's more or less what I did with the PS1 version, so I feel
yeah, I was like, no, this game is trash. I'm out of here. But I think that's like the worst Saga game from what I've heard. That was the worst one. I don't know what to say about this one. It's I've heard so many bad things about the Saga games. Some people are saying it's really good. So I might give this one a chance next year when it drops. I'll have to see what some people think about it before I make that commitment.
So it looks like I'm reading it, and it's Octopath Traveler before Octopath.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, here's the thing though. I mean, the general design of 8 characters and different stories and stuff, it's like that. But the combat and the level design is not as good. At least from what I remember playing of Saga Frontier. And see, here's my thing. Outside of a very select few games, and we can get into this if we want to, but I just think generally speaking, retro JRPGs just don't hold up the way some people like to think with their nostalgia glasses. And I think Saga Frontier is one of those games. And I think one of the reasons that can back up my argument is the fact that they have to add a 2x speed up mechanic. I read that they're going to add that into the game. So, and it's one of those games that I think, I could be wrong, but I think has a pretty high encounter rate for random encounters. So I would say buyer beware. I feel like what you said, Shadow, I think a lot of people are going to compare it to Octopath Traveler. People are going to be like, oh my God, I love that game. And then they're going to play this and go, oh, this is not anywhere near as good. So
Yeah,
I'm just saying, warning you guys that it's not going to be as good.
People just got to expect it's a PS1 game.
Yep.
PS1 games are slower.
Yeah, speaking of that, speaking of what Taylor said, with the fast forward feature, I mean, like, it's a 10-euro game. Way more than a 10-euro game at this point. But I'm just saying, any game that's a 10-euro game or more, it should have a fast forward feature, depending where it looks, honestly. And that game probably definitely needs one. So that's a good thing, in my opinion.
Sure.
I think it's games that are like turn-based, slow down and stuff like that. Speed up feature is good.
Yeah.
Games like Tales, you cannot do that.
Yeah, you can't do that in a Tales game. I'm thinking any JRPG or any RPG from like PS2 era down probably needs a fast forward feature. Probably. I'm saying all of them do, but I'm thinking a good majority probably do.
I think that, and if it has random encounters, do what they did in Bravely and let you adjust the encounter rate. Because I think that is a huge problem with a lot of older JRPGs. I think Final Fantasy IX is probably the biggest offender of that. But
yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, it does.
So I can just remember going from like town to town on the world map would just take forever because it was like 2 steps battle, 1 step battle. It's like, God damn it.
Yeah. I'm trying to make sure I finish Final Fantasy IX this year, and I think I know what you're talking about.
Yep.
I mean, that's been like a joke. Excuse me. Joke in the early 2000s, Final Fantasy's encounter rate where it's like, ooh, battle, and then they take like a half step and it's like,
yeah. And that's the other thing that I'm glad we don't have to deal with anymore is that swirly thing in a battle. Now it's either like instantaneously or the battles happen like right where you encounter the enemy. So
I like this.
I'm glad that crap's gone.
I do like the swirl. I like the swirly thing. I don't like the swirly thing where it's like dun 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 dun, dun and then it starts. It has to be really quick.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I don't understand what the problem is with the transition into battle. I don't get that. I like maybe Taylor, you want to give me your 2 cents on that one, but I don't understand what's the big deal about having a battle on a separate map or something like that. That's good to have battle on that you don't have to worry about field hazards and anything that could block your attack or anything like that. Because I'm experiencing that in Yakuza, like a dragon right now.
Yeah, I know what you mean. There's like stuff that gets in the way, or
like,
even enemies can get in the way.
Yeah, exactly. And like I don't understand what the general people, because I'm pretty sure the game industry, developers, publishers, they realize that transitions into battles, people don't like them. And I don't understand that. I don't see what the big deal is around that. Especially with the hardware, like the PS5 and the Xbox, they're much faster now. PS5 was SSD. You can get into a transition to a battle like that and come out just like that. So I don't see the big deal.
I think now it won't be a problem, but in years past, it's just the time it takes to get into a battle. Like Nick was saying, sometimes it took like 5 seconds. And that doesn't. I mean, 5 seconds is 5 seconds, but when battles happen so often, that 5 seconds adds up real quick. And it's like, my God, can we just get to the battle? But I think games now are much better about that. Even like Tales, like I was playing Tales of Berseria not too long ago, and it swirls into a battle, but it's like a second. It doesn't take that long. And that's totally fine. But my problem is not a separate battle scene. My problem is taking forever to get there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I like having a separate battle scene because in Tales of Berseria and Zestiria, the battles happen on the map that you're on.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had it one time where the battle happens and the battle is cut in half by this cliff. You can't jump over cliffs in Tales games. So the enemies are all on the other side of the cliff and we were right here. We couldn't do anything. I was like, okay, I guess I'll just run.
Now wait a minute, was that Zestiria or Berseria?
That was Berseria.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know you could get messed up like that because I thought Berseria did a separate battle scene.
Yeah, it did, and I think it did it right. I don't remember it actually happening like that.
It was way better than Zestiria, but that happened to me in Berseria once.
Okay, because I'm going to assume that was a one-off because I've never heard it happen to anybody else.
Because Zestiria was like you would have battles on like really tiny platforms, and you're all going crazy on that one platform. It's like
that was terrible.
I don't like that.
That was a big experiment, and they didn't know what they were doing with it, and they failed miserably.
Yep, and they improved it on Berseria.
Yeah, I think they just got rid of it entirely in Berseria.
You'll note if you look, Taylor, if you're gonna play Berseria again, look at your surroundings, get into a battle, and see if they change it all. I think what happens is the map itself expands; it gets a little bigger, but it's still the same map.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it does some type of trick. Yeah, it's definitely doing some type of trick.
Huh. Well, I mean, it's unclear how it's going to work in Arise, but Arise looks more like Ease in that enemies are just going to be roaming. You just attack them how you at will. I don't think it's going to swirl into a battle.
Yeah,
we have no idea.
Yeah,
because it looks like it in the trailer, but the director said it's a Tales game. You hit the enemy and it goes into a battle scene. It's not action. It's like a battle. It's like a Tales battle system. So I'm like, I don't know what to believe. I just don't know.
They've really been quiet on that game after they delayed it. I'm wondering when they're going to show more of it. I mean,
it's got to be sometime next year or maybe at the end of this month. December. But it's got to be happening soon.
Hopefully. I want to see it. It's going to be completely changed. It's 2D now.
Yeah, right.
No, my guy.
A little quick. I don't know if you've seen this, Taylor, but Rune Factory 5 has been showing off the townspeople.
Yes, we got a wolf girl. Let's go.
I know. It looks like there's a like wolf and cat people, and it's like, oh, this is interesting. So everyone's like,
they haven't done that in the past. I mean, there's been like elf girls and stuff, but there's never been like furries.
Well, they're not technically furries, but
you know what I mean, though, like animal hybrid people, whatever you want to call that.
But the thing is, the best girls are always non-bachelorettes.
Oh, who's the girl that you're looking at?
It's just always the older looking girls.
Oh, of course you like the older girls.
Of course. I mean, come on. Shadow knows.
Yep.
Here, I'm gonna look up the characters and just see if I can see who you're talking about here.
I mean, there's a decent one now who's like a succubus girl, but there's like 2 new ones, which is like, you can see that. But yeah, it's cool to see the updates. Rune Factory 5 is looking really really good, actually. Can't wait to see it, see more of it. Yeah, that's pretty much it for news. I want to know what because Taylor just beat the new Hyrule Warriors game, and I want to hear his impressions, and I want you to compare it to the other one, the first one.
The first Hyrule Warriors?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. I want to say, okay, I think normally warrior type games are just an excuse to like mash a bunch of characters into like one game and just have fun fan service. This feels like the most cohesive Warriors game because it's like a prequel to Breath of the Wild, so it's only those characters. You're not gonna see like Wind Waker Link or anything like that. It's only Breath of the Wild characters, and that may be a spoiler, but I don't think it is.
No. It was obvious from like its announcement.
Yeah, because the original Hyrule Warriors is just pure fan service, and which is fine. That's what those games are for, But I think this one, like I said, it feels very cohesive. One thing it does that's very different from most Warriors games, at least the ones that I played, is typically the way the game works is like you have X amount of missions. The story takes maybe like 15, 20 hours. And then there's a separate mode where you just go through different challenges like, okay, beat 200 guys in a minute, or you can only use Zelda or whatever. So that isn't in this game. It's like all on one map. So the way the game works is you have the map of Hyrule like you would see it in Breath of the Wild, and then like little icons will pop up each time you complete a story mission or complete a challenge or whatever. And so it's all integrated into one map, which is kind of cool. And it's I don't know, it makes it feel like it's more together. The only thing that I didn't like and I'm disappointed in is that it doesn't run at 60 frames per second when Fire Emblem Warriors and the other Hyrule Warriors game both ran at 60 frames per second.
And docked and normal mode? Or docked?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and sometimes it can run really bad. So there's battles. I know you didn't play Breath of the Wild, right, Nick?
I mean, I know of it, but I haven't played it.
So in the game, there are these things called the Divine Beasts. So there's like 4 champions in the game, and they all pilot these big like robot things. And so you get to pilot them in the game, which is cool. But like when they do their ultimate attacks, man, the frame rate just chugs like crazy. So normally like minute to minute, it's totally fine, 30 frames a second. But then in those battles, like, man, it just chugs. And even in handheld mode, if you like do a super move with too many guys on the screen, it'll chug. But other than that, cool story. I will say, here's the other thing I'll say that I was a little disappointed in. Normally, Hyrule Warriors games, it's all about like how fast can I kill like these hundreds of guys, right? Mm-hmm. This game, there's so many characters that I just never got a good sense of like how to use their moveset. Like they were very strange, or they were slow, or they just didn't hit a lot of people. So there's like, I would say like 5. There's like, I think if you beat the game, you end up with like maybe like 16 characters or something like that. There's probably only 5 I would use with any sort of regularity, unless the game made me use somebody, because the other ones just weren't fun. That's the other thing I liked about Hyrule Warriors. Every character was super unique and really fun. Like Base Link was way different than Wind Waker Link, and Zelda was way different than I don't even know all the different Zelda characters, so I'm drawing a blank here. Like then, I like the or something.
I like the Ocarina of Time. It might be the Ocarina of Time, but it was a Majora's Mask Link who pulls like the move is literally he pulls the moon down and smashes it onto characters.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, well, you can. I don't know what his name, but the guy that wears Majora's Mask. What does he have a name? Is that a character?
Skull Kid.
Yeah, Skull Kid. Yeah, you can fight Skull Kid. Super fun. So that's my only 2 critiques. The most of the characters aren't that fun to play, and it doesn't run very well. But other than that, great game. And again, this might be a spoiler, but it's not really a prequel. It's more of like a what if? Yeah. But that's still cool. I mean, you can still sort of see what's happening, and it's fun because it like that whole scenario of like leading up to the Calamity, like it being a giant big scale battle is probably the only way that you could have portrayed it. So I think it fit in that sense. But yeah, I think people might be disappointed in the end to learn that it's not really a prequel. So, and again, that might be a little bit of a spoiler, but oops.
All right, Taylor. So apparently you someone on Discord said that you predicted the Persona Scramble.
Yeah, I tried to go back and watch that episode. I couldn't find it. I was like skipping through it. I'm sure it's there, but I didn't want to listen for the whole 2-hour podcast. But yeah, 2 years ago, I was like, wouldn't it be cool if there was a Persona Warriors?
And then I predicted Clive. The name Clive for Final Fantasy 16.
Oh, did you?
I said I I named one of the Square Enix characters Clive, apparently, and then
Oh, that's always isn't that what you? Oh no, Ramsey you always name Reed, right?
I know I do read Ramzo, whatever.
Hmm. That's funny.
So Taylor, what is the next Muso game? What's the next property going to be made?
Oh, that hasn't been done already?
Yep.
I was talking about with Bow Shadow. I can't believe we haven't got a Final Fantasy Warriors. I am shocked.
I think that's what Dissidio is for, probably.
That's not the same though. I hear what you're saying, and it's even the same team. I think Omega Force made that game, or Team Ninja made that game, the console one. But I can't think of a more fitting franchise for a Warriors game because most of the main characters are sword users, which is kind of the problem Fire Emblem Warriors had. But they all have very unique limit breaks and special abilities and stuff like that. Like, man, I just think that would be the perfect fit. And the other two franchises I think would go really well. And I hope they decide to do this instead of another fighting game. I think My Hero Academia would be a really great Warriors game because there's so many characters with unique movesets. I think that would be perfect. And then with how often they put these games out, I can't believe there's not a Dragon Ball Warriors. Like that feels like another property that's like ripe for a Warriors game.
I feel like Koei Tecmo is definitely in the business of warriorizing anything at this point. I think they're really on an upward swing so far with a lot of successful series. So they will jump at the bit to do anything in the Warrior style at this point. So
I mean, a Super Mario Warriors, I could see that too.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
Like make it all colorful, and that'd be fun. I'd play that.
I think it would be fun. They have a lot of characters to work with. It's fighting a bunch of Goombas and Koopa Troopas.
Yeah, that could be fun. But I like what you're saying though, Shadow. I think they really are on an uptick with the Warriors games, and I think they've really evolved. And I think what's been working for them is that they're not just like, let's toss 20 characters into a game, into our formula, and then call it a day. Like with this, and I think Persona 5 Scramble, it seems to be like a true sequel prequel side game rather than just, oh, let's put all the characters into a Warriors game. Like they feel like they're a lot more involved. They feel more like cohesive to the franchises they're making games for. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they do next because there was a leak supposedly that Persona 5 Scramble is going to come out in the West in February, and we've waited long enough. That game's got to come out soon. In the West.
I was about to ask that. It's like, is it actually confirmed to be coming out, or
it hasn't been officially confirmed? But there's been lots of leaks. There was a leak on a Koei Tecmo financial report, and then they took it off on the next one, which was funny. And then somebody found a retail listing on like Play Asia or something like that for a Western release. So I think it's coming early next year. Would be my guess.
Yeah, it should be. Definitely should be.
Maybe a Game Awards announcement. I don't know if it's big enough for Game Awards, but hey, they announced Joker for Smash, so who knows?
Yeah, that's definitely big enough for Game Awards. Yeah, it's gonna come out next year.
Hopefully. Another game that you guys have been playing is or Shadow's been playing is Yakuza 7. And Taylor talked about his thoughts last time. I want to know your thoughts if they are similar to Taylor's.
So I think I'm about like 28 hours into the game. I'm on chapter 11. I don't know how many chapters there are, but I think I'm almost done with the game. I think. My thoughts aren't as overly positive as Taylor's are. I'll tell you this right now. I have no desire, really, no urgency to go on to play another Yakuza game after this one. I think after this one, unless it's turn-based, unless it has an English dub, I'm good with Yakuza.
Have you've played other ones, right?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
Oh, so that was your first one, huh? Okay.
Yeah. Technically, that was my first one because I tried to play Zero for a little bit. I didn't care for it. That was brawler type of action game. I put it down. I was like, it's not my cup of tea. But this one, looked at it. I was like, yeah, I could probably have fun with this one. The thing about this one is, it's not grabbing me really all that much, honestly. It's just I feel like it's just there. The story is good, and it's always keeping me okay. What's gonna happen next? With all these people from the beginning of the game, now they're all popping up. Young Master and whatnot, and it's like, okay, the story is keeping me in it a little bit. I'm not connected to these characters all that much. I'm not all that invested into the story all that much. The battle system it's a turn-based affair. I do like the fact that it's not just press the button and just wait for your character's attack. Some of the skills do have button props or like quick time events to them. Press the X or press the Y. Those are pretty cool. As I was mentioning before with the battle scenes, battles takes place exactly where you are. So whatever's in your way, it can end up being a hindrance to your character getting to your opponent. I think
what's the turn-based battle system like?
Honestly, I've seen some reviews compare it to Persona 5, and I'm like, no, it's not.
No.
I was like, I don't know where you're getting this from. Like, it's
That's
not
way
like
too
Persona
kind.
5.
Even I'll admit it's not even.
I mean,
close.
if
No.
things are getting in the way, it's obviously not like Persona.
Exactly. I don't know where they were getting this off that they compared it to Persona 5, but they were. I was like, it's nothing like this, like Persona 5. I can't really compare it to anything else because like it might be like Final Fantasy 13 in a sense that characters are moving around and when it comes time to their turn, they'll just start attacking. They'll run up to their opponent and start attacking. It's kind of like that. Again, with the field hazards, it gets kind of annoying because sometimes you'll get into a battle where it's really narrow. Your characters can't get to the opponent, so they're like teleport to the opponent. It looks kind of weird. And sometimes they'll just stop attacking at all at some points. And I didn't realize until like maybe a couple of hours ago, like there's like kind of a line of sight that some enemies have. So if the enemy is looking at you, and you try to attack an enemy that's beyond them or behind them, the enemy in front of you will interfere with your attack and just completely cancel out your attack.
Yep.
And,
yeah, they'll
and
like
that,
hit you and then it cancels your attack out, right?
Yeah, it's annoying, but I just realized that you can still do that, and you press the B button, you perfect guard against it, you can block it. I didn't realize you could do that. I just randomly hit B one time and it blocked it, and I still went up to the attack. Yeah, so I was like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And that's also another thing. Yeah, you can block against attacks. If you start learning enemy attack animations, you can block attacks or not completely block against the attack. You can reduce damage, which again is pretty cool. The game is really like, okay, so in Persona 5, right? I didn't like the character of Futaba because I felt like she really tried to cater to gamers and that she was really a really RPG centric type of character. So in this game, you got the main character Katsuga, Ichiban, whatever, how you want to call him. He's really into RPGs, and the RPG he's really into is Dragon Quest, and he'll make a lot of Dragon Quest references all the time. Like he'll see characters transforming into different types of enemies because that's his Dragon Quest mind going off. And I like that because I think that was the natural progression for this because Japan loves Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
So, that was and this is the RPG. So in order to make that transition as smooth as possible, they know Japan is familiar with Dragon Quest. So that was an easy reference for them to do. The game has a lot of cutscenes, and I'm really glad that it has an English dub. Like, if it didn't have an English dub, I don't know what I'd be doing right now. I probably would have put the game down by now, or I wouldn't be playing it as much. And I don't know why it is. It's just that way. And there are like cutscenes where I haven't encountered this in a while because I play a lot of JRPGs. But there are cutscenes where it's like, I want to say in-game graphic cutscenes, like a half-ass cutscene, and there are more official, like real cutscenes. And there's a lot of those half-ass cutscenes, especially during important moments, that I just notice that it's like a half-ass cutscene. I just can't get into it because the characters are moving in like default animations, and it's just really, it takes me out of it completely. But it's definitely not a bad game by any means. It's a good game. Honestly, I think it's nominated for Game of the Year because it just came out just in time for it. not game of the year, RPG of the year rather. It's nominated for RPG of the year because it just came out.
Well, Last of Us 2 is going to win RPG of the year, so it's all good.
But yeah, it's like there's nothing wrong with the game at all. I do think it's good. I have no desire to play any other Yakuza game. I just don't.
It's a solid 7 to you.
Maybe teetering on an 8. Probably teetering more on an 8.
Wow.
But honestly, it's just I this is the first for me. Like I'll play a game if I like it, like I'm liking it, and I'm playing it. I'm interested to play the next game, or maybe the previous games. But for this, I have no desire to go to another Yakuza game unless it's turn based.
How IGN of you? Rip the game apart, and something. It's an 8 out of 10.
I don't think I'm ripping it apart. I'm just saying it's just at the end of the day, it's just not my cup of tea, man.
Yeah.
Maybe it was anime, and I'll probably put myself down here a little bit. Maybe if it had more waifus, maybe I might like it a little bit more. But I just don't have any desire to play more of this series. I really don't.
I mean, to be fair, this was my first Yakuza game, so I'm pretty much right there with you. I wonder, or I feel like they all play similarly in that, it takes place in some Japanese city. It's goofy side quests. Mm-hmm. I think they all are more or less the same outside of the combat, obviously, and the main characters are different for the rest of them. But unless you really dig the formula, like I doubt you're gonna play another one and go, oh wow, that was really different.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna say it probably on my own podcast, and I'm probably gonna make a video on Yakuza Like a Dragon, and a lot of people ain't gonna like what I have to say, because like you said, Nick, I'm praising the game almost, and I have no desire to go back and play the other games. It's weird. I'm telling straight up, this might be my first and last Yakuza game. I don't want to play another one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, when he had Ben on, or Ben is a huge Yakuza fan. Easy Allies in general. They just can't sing enough praises. So I never really played one.
I don't think it's that good. I think it's good, but it's not that good. I don't know what it's about, man. Maybe the engine they're using. Maybe when they improve, they'll go on the actual PS5 and on a current gen now, I guess you could say, hardware, and they really put in the effort. Maybe, I don't know, man. I got no desire.
You're like, I'm done. I'm slow.
Honestly, I am done. Honestly, I feel like there is some part of me that's just playing the game just to play the game. Like really, really. I don't know what it is. I said it before. I say it again. This is the first time for me. I've never experienced this before.
Sounds like Taylor with Cold Steel.
It could be, hell yeah, it could be, because like another game come out just like this, had the same battle system, had the same type of graphics, but it's got more, well, maybe not the same type of graphics. Maybe it has a more anime style look to it. Maybe it's got one or two waifus that I like, and I love it. But it's just not my cup of tea. I'm sorry, it's just not me, man.
Yeah, well,
I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna give my thoughts, but that's about it. I'm done. I'm done with Yakuza at this point.
At this point, he's done. End of story. What I'm not done with is Cold Steel 4.
How many hours have you put in so far?
Good question.
Probably like 80, 90.
Yep.
But I think a couple of those are dead time, so I just leave it on and go do something else.
Oh, okay.
Because oh my god, when I play it, I binge it, and man, Taylor, this game is definitely not for you.
No, good. Well, I'm glad I didn't play it.
Yeah, son, this is on the Taylor scale. This is like a 1.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of talking, a lot of story, and a lot of different stories going on at the same time. So people who haven't played the other Trails game are gonna be like, "Who the hell are these guys?
Yep.
What the hell's that? What's going on here?" Like the entire I think I said this last time, but the entire prologue is just crossspell. If you haven't played any of the crossspell games, you're just like, who are these people?
You ain't gonna know a goddamn thing that's going on, man. Yeah. They don't care.
It's like, this isn't Cold Steel. Is that the guy that Ring beat up in Cold Steel 2? But it is like Trails Ultimate, where everybody's here.
Yeah. It's fun, man. If you played everything, you'll love it, I think.
Yeah, it's funny because at the part I'm at, everybody's together and they're all talking to each other and they're all like, "Oh, we know these people, or we know the same people. Oh, he's like my best friend." And then they find out they're like related to each other and stuff like that. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, this is fun finding like silly backstory to these people."
Honestly, that was my favorite part of the game, probably.
Just learning everyone's backstory, like relation to each other.
Well, like just like that whole like you're on the Pantagruel, right? Just like that whole interaction with everybody and like slowly talking to all the groups that were separated from each other. That was so much fun. I loved it because I knew all the characters.
And they remade the song from the beginning of Full Steel 1 during that part.
Oh, I remember that.
And I was just like, "Oh, awesome."
The opening song?
Yeah, the opening scene song, you know. I forgot what it's called. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. The heart events, because now there's bonding events that have hearts next to them. So those are special bonding events. Some of those are like pretty tame. Some of them were like, "Whoa, okay." Especially Laura's. Laura's was like, out of everyone all the heart events that I've done, Laura just went out swinging, and I was like, okay, Laura's kind of a top tier now.
Did you do fees?
I did fees as well. I did not expect that either.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, see, this is something I gotta talk to you about, especially when you're done with the game. We gotta talk. I got so much to say.
Okay, so if you do the second heart event, are you like locked with that person, or is that alright?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so you can do everyone's
until you get to the next intermission chapter. That's when you'll be locked in.
Good. Every single one is just funny. And Reen's always like, I don't know what to do every single time.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, it's like you can't be like recuperating, you know, or like, you know, saying the same thing to every other girl.
Yeah.
Then you get a Persona protagonist going out with every girl.
But it's like in that aspect, I feel like they tried to satisfy everybody. If you had a favorite relationship or ship, they try to satisfy you basically.
Yep. Even ones that you didn't even expect.
Exactly. Oh yeah, that is the biggest problem. I'm like, why the fuck? Why did you put these two together? What for what reason? I was like, no, I'm not doing this bonding again because they don't belong together. All right, like, stop this madness. Oh my god, I got so much to say on that one. Can't say it now.
I laughed because I remember like the second intermission between the two acts. I saw the characters that were you're able to get the heart events. I'm like,
yeah.
Wait a second. What is this?
I said the same thing too, bro.
I'm like, I can't know. I know Rena's Sarah right now, but I'm not allowing this.
I was like, no, we're not doing it. I don't care. We're not doing it.
Okay, so let's go to questions now. We got a pretty decent amount. Will Kreplin asks, the days where we could only get a game or two a year are long gone. With the modern glut of video game releases, how do you suggest we go on deciding what to play and what to pass on?
For me personally, like I've been in this gaming stuff for a long time, so I know what I'm gonna play and know what I'm not gonna play. And I'm long past the part of I need to, figure out if I can get this game or not. I can get whatever game I want for the most part.
I'm an adult, damn it.
Exactly, yeah. I'm an adult. I can get whatever game I want at any time I want at this point. I have a working job. But how do you decide what to get? You should know by now. I hate to say it, but you should really know by now what you want to play, man. Now I always want to play JRPGs, so I'm gonna play a JRPG. I'm gonna do my research. I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna look at the battles. Look at the characters. I want to play it. And I know I'm actually gonna sit down and play the game because a lot of people just buy games and they move on to the next, which I've been guilty of recently. I'm not gonna lie. But when it comes to a newer game, like again, Yakuza, I got Yakuza. I said, you know what? I brought it, paid $60 for it. I'm gonna go. Well, I think I paid $50 for it. I'm gonna play it. So again, I'm playing it. Almost 30% of me is playing it for the sake of playing it because I brought it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, go ahead.
Back when Taylor and I were living together during the apartment, I think like 2014, 15. I used to buy like every single big game, right? I felt like that. I was like, oh, this game looks awesome, I'm gonna buy it. Oh, this game looks awesome, I'm gonna buy it. Oh, this game looks awesome, I'm gonna buy it. Then I realized that I've been playing, I don't play all these games like fully. And I had a bunch of JRPGs back on the back burner that I never touched. And I decided to just like, okay, which games do I really like? I like JRPGs. And I like certain shooters. And I like horror games and fighters. I'm like, those are the games I'm going to focus on. I'm not going to buy every fighter. I'm going to find the fighter that I enjoy, and then I'm going to play it. But JRPGs, I'm going to focus on like all the time. That's when I started finding out all these new JRPGs when I found trails and all that. And it really cleaned up all the clutter, because I remember like looking at all the new digital releases, and I'm like, oh man, all these new like indie games look so cool. I'm gonna download them and buy them all and play them all. And yeah. And so like, and then you just don't have any time to do anything. It's like, no, you got to find out what you enjoy and focus on buying those ones. And then if you want to splurge on like a game, you know, you're like, oh, I want to try out this rhythm game. Go do it. It's fine. You don't need to buy every single game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at our age, we don't have that much time as we used to. So
yeah, it's definitely what RPGs. Part.
Mm-hmm.
Right, no, that's the tricky part. Like you said, like now we got the money to buy whatever we want, we just don't have the time to play everything. And I'm wondering if we're going to start seeing a shift this coming gen to shorter games, but like higher quality. Like instead of Assassin's Creed being like 100 hours, it's like 40, but like everything that you play is like amazing or whatever. Or like Final Fantasy 16, I guess, you know, like it's not going to be as long, but what you play is super quality. Because like I think 7 Remake did a really good job of that. Like I think I beat it in like 30 hours, and like almost every second was like awesome, you know?
Yeah.
So I definitely want that. But to answer his question, I'm kind of with Nick. It's like stick to JRPGs. Every once in a while, there's a game that catches my attention. I'm like, ooh, I got to try that. Like I just picked up 13 Sentinels on a Black Friday sale. I've heard like nothing but amazing things about that game, so I had to try it. And then like, you know, these aren't like JRPGs, quote unquote, but like the Story of Seasons and Rune Factory or whatever, like those are always fun. Yeah, so I think you just at this point I think you should know what you like, and then you just have to go, okay, look at some reviews. This game's gonna be long, this one's not. And you just kind of, I don't know, you just figure it out.
Yeah, like, you know, just have some discipline, because you just mentioned 13 Sentinels. I want to play 13 Sentinels in Easy Room. I can get it anytime I want, but I know if I get it now, I'm definitely not going to play it. So I just just make some time. After I finish Yakuza, maybe I'll be free to play another game, but I think I'm going to go back to my backlog and take out like 3 or 4 games that I got on there. And then maybe if I have some time early next year, I'll give 13 Sentinels each for a shot. But as of right now, just focus. Focus on the games you got right now. If you like them enough, try to finish them up. I'm trying not to be that guy, just finish the game, because, again, I got a backlog right now. I haven't had a backlog in a real long time.
Wait, oh yeah, backlog. I have backlog from like 2 decades ago.
And here's the other thing, and I feel like, you know, Shadow, you might be able to relate to this a little bit. Like sometimes, like your plans get thrown out the window because you're like, this game, I got it early enough, I could probably beat it in time for the embargo for a review or whatever. Like obviously you didn't do that with Cold Steel, but like there's certain games where I'm like, ooh, like I'm trying to think of like Yakuza. You know, I felt like I wanted to power through that so he could get a video out before the game came out. Maybe not the best way to experience that game, but sometimes that's the only wrench in the cog, if you will, for me, is if like something's coming out, I probably should make a video about it. But
I think like there's something in the back of my mind that says I don't want early copies of games anymore. I really don't.
Really?
Like, I don't want them. I just like maybe I do, and I'll just make a first impressions of them. But I just don't want to ever feel pressure playing the game anymore.
See, that's what I say to
I don't want
Taylor. I said that to Taylor once. I was like, because I remember he was talking about the Yakuza thing, right? And you were really stressing out. Like, I don't want to rush it and make a review on the thing. I'm like, you should make videos called like first impressions, where you play like a couple hours, and then you give your first impressions on the day it comes out, so people could get get some news on the day it comes out, so they get for the games. And then if you want, you could ask them, hey, if you want me to review it, give me some feedback. And then if not, if you don't get enough feedback, it's like, okay, I'm not going to play the game anymore. Because
here's the thing about that. It's not how the YouTube game works, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's not anybody's fault. It's almost the commenters and the viewers' fault. They want the review. That's all they want. They don't give a damn about your first review. They want that review. They want Trails of Cold Steel, Yakuza 0, whatever, Yakuza Like Dragon review, not first impressions. That is what is going to get you the hits, the likes, and the views. Unfortunately.
Well, because it's funny. I actually did that with Yakuza because the embargo came and I only had the game for like 2 days, and I'm like, well, I want to put something out, even though I've only put a few hours into the game. That video doesn't even have 1,000 views, but my full review has like 10,000 views. It just crossed 10,000 views. So like, even if you wait a little bit, sometimes it can be worth it. But you're right. Yeah, usually people are like want to, because it's like you're looking because you're like, okay, is this worth spending my money on? I mean, that's I think a large percentage of people that watch reviews is like, should I buy this game? And like, first impressions are hard to do, but there's channels out there that are really good at like, I don't know if tricking people is the right word, but they like I don't know if you guys may have seen this, but there's this channel that does these like before you buy type of, they have that thumbnail where it's like that.
Yeah.
And like that guy, I watched a couple of those. That guy hasn't beat the game. He's like, yeah, so I put about like 8 hours into the game, but some people can make it work.
It's definitely, it's a trick. And people gotta realize that it's not even like we're trying to deceive you or anything. But that's just what gets you in the seat. That's what gets asses in the seats for lack of a better term. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. It's the way it's played. This is the way the YouTube game is played.
This is all your fault, guys. Your fault. You listeners, it's all your.
You want us to play a fucking 30-hour JRPG in a matter of 2 days and absorb everything? That's not gonna happen. We can't do it. We have other things to do. So if you can quote unquote trick them, I wouldn't say it's a bad trick. See, I think everybody should on some level run a YouTube channel and see how it feels. Because it's not a trick. It's just you don't want that. We want the views. We want the engagement. So we have to do some trickery to get you to come to the video.
Yeah, and sometimes like just calling it like blah 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 review doesn't work. Like, so for example, I did a review on the new Story of Seasons remake, and I called it like, is Story of Seasons Friends of Mineral Town better than the original? And at the time I put that video out, I hadn't actually beat the game, but I felt like I had put enough time into the game that I was comfortable like giving my impressions on it. Like, I think I had gone through like at least a full calendar year in the game, maybe a little bit more.
I mean, that's like beating the game by then.
Yeah, and like that is, I can't believe how many views that video has. That's like my second most reviewed review on the channel. So, like you said, it's a game and it sucks that's how it is. But you got to do what you got to do.
Now, see, me personally, I'll probably do something like, I'll probably going forward, because I told Taylor a couple of times, I don't really care anymore. To be honest, I want my subscriber count to go up, but I'm not gonna ruin my game experience for the sake of getting my subscriber number up. I'm just not gonna do it anymore.
I mean, you guys have decent subscriber counts now, so what you got to do is throw a Giant Sword podcast a little bone, And
Yeah, I keep forgetting to do that. Like I swear I keep forgetting to do it. I'm like, yo, I should have put this in there. Why I put this in there? And then it's like I haven't made a video in a long time. And I hit the render button and that's it. And I'm like, okay, it's rendered. I should have at least put something about Giant Sword podcast in there. I was like, why did I do that? I was like, I'm messed up.
It's all good fun. Yeah, so he has another question. What is the best type of game or series to play while listening to audiobooks or podcasts, and why? What are the benefits of or drawbacks of this type of gaming compared to something that demands your complete attention?
I mean, obviously nothing story heavy. So like, I just talked about Hyrule Warriors. Like, there's maybe like sit and watch the cutscene, but then the battles are so mindless. It's like capture this point, kill this guy. Like something that doesn't require you to pay attention, or like maybe a multiplayer game, or
a lot of multiplayer games now are like you need to focus on it. It's crazy. Maybe not Among Us. Among Us, you don't really focus until, or like focus on sound, I should say, until you start yelling at each other.
Yeah, I guess I mean something more like I'm trying to think of like a Fall Guys or something.
Oh yeah, that would be
like,
good.
Yeah, like I'm watching Asian Sensations playing Rocket League right now. Like you don't need sound for that. But I hear what you're saying. Like even Call of Duty, like you need to hear the steps and where people are running and things like that.
Oh yeah, when I'm playing multiplayer games, I'm like completely devoted to it. It's like, oh gosh,
yeah.
I want to watch my YouTube videos, but I can't.
Or even like, we were talking about story of seasons like that. That's depending on what you're doing. Like that could be a pretty good game to just chill out and listen to a book, because for the most part, they're not story heavy. Like, if you're just farming, you're trying to build up to like getting an animal or building a building or something like that. Like that's a good zone out kind of game.
Yeah, those games are definitely perfect for that kind of stuff. I would say grinding on some JRPGs or doing the side quest of Cold Steel. Just turn it on fast forward and go right through everything real quick, and then whenever there's the story moments during those side quests, then you pause.
I ain't gonna lie, I did that for one or two side quests in Cold Steel 4. I was like, this has nothing to do with the story. I'm not that interested in what this has to say. I fast forward through some of it.
Yeah. Okay, I fast forward through it so much that now when I'm playing normal speed, it feels like it's going slow-mo.
Oh my god!
And I'm just like,
I didn't go that far.
I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta stop playing. And that's just because I want to build up. I want to get some Sepith and stuff like that, and build up my quartz. So I just kill a bunch of monsters really quick, and then when I turn it off, it's like all slow.
Yeah, it's slow.
And then, like the animations are like, oh, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what the heck? And then they're not slow at all. It just feels like that because I've been used to the
turbo mode, like crazy.
Mode. Yeah.
I tried to disable turbo mode when I was in like a major fight or a major boss battle. I tried to make sure I never use turbo mode unless it was for a really long spell. But
I usually skip those. Press start. What else? I totally forgot the question. It slipped me.
Good games to play while listening to an audiobook.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think sandbox games like Minecraft, stuff like that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Israel asks, what games would you like to replay as a backwards compatible on the PS5 or Xbox 4? Nothing.
Assuming that they have like the basic enhancements like 60 FPS, fast loading times, and that's about it. Probably I wouldn't mind playing Persona 5 again. Just to view the battle system in 60 FPS, or just view the whole game in 60 FPS, because I did it on my PC with a PS3 emulator, and my god, it looked amazing. So I would like to do that. Like a re-release? I don't think there's not that much, honestly.
I've pretty much played everything I wanted to play on the PS4.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Shadow. I just picked up Persona 5 Royal on a Black Friday deal, and I haven't played it. And
you want to wait until
I'm
you get
kind of the same. I don't know. I definitely don't have time right now because I definitely want to get through 13 Sentinels. And I got sent a code to play for Sakuna. Like it was a really late code, but I at least want to play it. Yeah, Sakuna of Rice and Ruin.
Oh, okay, that game.
Yeah.
You gotta tell me about that because I'm thinking about playing it.
Yeah, and so I want to play that, and that was way longer. I was watching some reviews, and that was way longer than I was anticipating it. And so, I might wait till a PS5 just to see. But I'm wondering if there's a video because people have been testing games like to see if they run better. I'm wondering if somebody's got a Persona 5 Royal PS5 test to see if it actually does run better or not.
I think I've only seen that the load times are faster. I don't think the frame rate has increased.
I mean, isn't it 60 already? I'm trying to remember.
I don't think so.
I don't think it's 60. I
think
the load times is faster.
Yeah, I mean, which is not a bad thing. Yeah, I think people are specifically going back and fixing them because I know a lot of the first party games like Spider-Man and Ghost of Tsushima and God of War, like Ghost of Tsushima, I heard runs at 60 on PS5, and I actually haven't beat Ghost of Tsushima. That game is really long, but that would be fun to try. I'm trying to think because like obviously flashy action games, like maybe Nier Automata, because that doesn't run at 60. I don't think.
Nah, not on consoles. It does on PC. Even on PC, it's a little bit iffy.
I know for like I've seen videos where they played a lot of games for PS4 to PS5, and pretty much every game was running at 60. There's certain games that don't though, but usually the PS5 makes it run at 60 frames per second.
Okay.
Except Bloodborne.
Yeah. But I think Bloodborne itself is getting its own patch.
It better, man. I mean, if any game deserves to run at 60 FPS, it's Bloodborne because that combat, you got to have that smooth combat, the quick reflexes and stuff.
All right. Cart Tacha asks, what is your favorite JRPG of the last generation? So, of the PS4 generation.
Probably something that's not Persona 5.
Yeah, there's so many good releases that last generation. It's kind of amazing.
It was the Comeback Man
remake, but
ooh, yeah, that's definitely it. Yeah,
that might be it.
I really liked Dragon Quest 11.
Yeah,
a lot. And I know they're doing the definitive edition on PS4 that's coming out soon. That might be a game worth replaying on PS5. I don't know if it's going to run at 60 frames per second, but yeah, I'd love to replay that game. That was an awesome game. Yeah, 7 Remake, I was just listening to the music, and man, every time certain songs play, it just hits, I get a little emotional,
Is it because of the game, or is it because of your nostalgia of the original Final Fantasy VII?
But probably the nostalgia, but I think here's the thing. I think it's the nostalgia, but it's how faithfully they've been able to recreate and capture the essence of those characters in that world, Like if it was just like, oh, it's a remake, and it's like, okay, yeah, it's fine. Like, we both have nostalgia for, Harvest Moon Back to Nature, and like, we played the Friends of Mineral Town remake, and it's like, it's good, but I'm not like weeping because I'm listening to the music or seeing familiar characters. But with 7 Remake, there were certain moments in that music, I was like, man, this just hits hard, So it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both. I mean, nostalgia is obviously a huge part of it, but if they didn't nail it, I don't think it would have been as powerful.
Yeah, that music in that game is ridiculous. I mean, I played Final Fantasy VII, the original, once. And that was when it was like 2013, 2014. And it still hit me. That music still hit me, made me choke up sometimes.
Yep. That music is on point.
The opening theme, Aerith's theme, and then like the start menu screen, even like the what is that called? That's a fanfare.
The prelude, I think that's what it's called.
Prelude. Thank you. Yes.
Yep. The whole game soundtrack is the original soundtrack is just phenomenal. It's a masterpiece.
So when are we going to see the second part?
Hopefully 2022, maybe.
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah.
I'm also going to say Tales of Berseria. I think I would. I'll pick Tales of Berseria. Honestly, if I couldn't pick Persona 5 or Final Fantasy 7 remake, I'm picking Tales of Berseria. That game is so slept on.
Tales of Systeria, best game.
Ew. Ew. That game is just
I'm-
big ass experiment going wrong.
I'm going to say both Tales of Systeria, Tales of Berseria. That this chunk of 2 games, really good. So I like the world and like the story. I don't know why. It felt
This
like
wouldn't be a. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, you know what Tales of Systeria feels like to me? It feels like Tales of series Sonic 06. Right?
That's an interesting way to describe it. I can't really blame you on that.
They had huge ambitions. There was a manga. There's an awesome anime, and they made us. They're creating this giant world to I betcha to have a couple sequels in. They had Berseria, and I'm pretty sure there's one more game in there. And they were rushed, and they had to get it out. And I'm pretty sure this is why we haven't seen a Rise in a long time, because they learned from Zysteria's mistakes. And I would love to see a Zysteria F or R, which is just like a remake of Zysteria with a whole lot of improvements, fixing the plot holes, fixing the story, adding Alicia back into the game when she disappears from right from the beginning of the game.
I swear that was dumb. That was the dumbest thing I ever. That was literally. I personally believe that was Bandai Namco being greedy with DLC. That's honestly what I believe. They say that was the plan from the jump. I don't think it was. I think they're just being greedy with DLC.
I don't think they just knew what to do with her, because in the anime she has so much stuff to do, and she could actually armatize. So
yeah, there was a plan for her. They literally took her out for DLC. There was a plan. There was a clear-cut plan for her in the story when they was just doing the storyboarding, doing the story, setting up the story. There was a plan for her, but they took her out so they could sell DLC. That's my personal belief.
Well, you got the DLC for free when you got the collector's edition, and it wasn't really that good.
Yeah, it wasn't. It
and
really
it
wasn't.
takes place after the game ends anyway. So.
Yep, you had to play. Yeah, you had to play the game anyway. So
Wow, that really sucks.
Yeah.
I remember Japan being super pissed.
oh, they were pissed. They were upset. Oh my god, I could not blame them on that one. That was dumb.
Yeah, that's why I said it is the 06 of the Tales series, the Sonic 06. But they could totally fix it, because they did fix it with Berseria. Berseria is awesome.
Yeah, Berseria is a really good game. And it's a shame that I had to come after the Styria.
Yeah. Because it literally fixes all the problems of Zysteria.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, they learned from their mistakes and they did everything to fix it.
Next question. Let me see. Hookah LeConte asks, have you ever gotten to the final boss of a JRPG and failed so many times and realized you're unprepared, either with your stats or that you don't have enough support items to get you through it, and then you realize you're at a point of no return and accept that you're screwed and resort to looking at the ending on YouTube? For me, this happened 3 times. This happened to me with the first Grandia, Xenogears, and Legend of Dragoon. Interesting. All 3 are PS1 JRPGs.
I've never gotten to that point where I had to read the ending online. My pride at a certain point will not allow me to do that. I will struggle through the game and I will do whatever I have to do. Well, I never set myself up to having like one save file that I couldn't just go back to, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Recently, that's never ever happened to me. There's never been a JRPG that I've had such a problem with the final boss that I couldn't beat eventually. But back in the day, for Persona 4, when it first came out, and this was my experience, that I hate grinding because I had a problem with the final boss. I was like I think I was early 70s, and I could not beat the final boss. I tried so many times. I got so mad.
Wait, which final boss?
The true ending final boss.
Okay.
Yeah. So I could not beat her at all. And I was trying like maybe max 5 times, and I just gave up and said, all right, let me go to whatever his name is, not Palace, but Dungeon, and just grind it out there to maybe mid 70s, high 70s, and I beat her. I felt no satisfaction at all because I had to grind to do it. I was like, I just needed higher stats. That was it. There was no strategy involved. I just needed higher stats. It was terrible. But that's the last time that ever happened to me.
The only time...
wait a minute. Actually, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go. You're on a roll. Go.
Yeah. So actually happened with me recently this year with Nocturne. Now that I think about it, Nocturne's true ending boss has got to be probably in my top 2 hardest JRPG boss fights I have ever fought. I had to grind literal 10 levels to beat this guy, and even then, it boiled down to luck. How illfully unprepared I was before I grind, it was a joke. It was an absolute joke. Grind those 10 levels, the battle still came down to luck, which, again, I really appreciate because it was more of my strategy that played a huge part in winning that battle. And I don't think I can load that game up and do it again. I literally don't think I can do it. So that came close. That came really close. But I realized early that if I had to beat this guy, I had to do some grinding. And even then, it was still a challenge.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I think the only time that I've ever had that problem it wasn't even the final boss. It was just a boss of Grandia. And I was like 11, so I was a kid. And I just couldn't beat this one guy. I don't know why. And Grandia has this way of not respawning monsters in the areas you're in. So I couldn't grind. I couldn't do any of that. And I was just stuck. And I tried to beat it, couldn't. I stopped playing it. And I didn't get back to it until like I was in high school. Then I only had one save point. So I was stuck. So the save point was in this dungeon where you're stuck. You can't go back outside. So I was just stuck in this one area with this boss I had to beat, and I couldn't do it. And the reason why I couldn't do it was because I did not know how to use the magic system in Grandia at all at that time. I had all these magic stuff that I could use. I didn't even have any magic, because in Grandia you need to find mana eggs, and then you buy magic at the shop, and you level it up while you just using it. And I didn't do that, so none of my characters had magic. And to beat that guy, you needed to have magic. Another, also when I was a kid, is probably saving in Ryovan's Castle in Final Fantasy Tactics. Taylor knows.
I mean, you're screwed at that point. You just have to use your wits because you can't. There's no way out there.
Yep. And then if you fight Waygraph, and then you're like, well, I'm stuck. I can't beat him. There's no way to beat him, and I'm stuck. And I've saved. So from then on, I've always did at least 2 save points. In Cold Steel, I have about 16 right now.
Jeez. Just in case?
No, certain points. And I save after like every chapter end or act end. I don't know. This version's weird. They're not really chapters. They're acts, and there's multiple acts within acts. I don't know. What about you, Taylor? It's probably the same thing.
I have 2. My tactics experience is a little fuzzy. I feel like I knew to save because it was after the fact. Like when the game came out, I didn't beat the game when it came out. I didn't beat it till way later. But the 2 that immediately come to mind is, first one is Xenoblade Chronicles X. That game has a pretty hard final boss, and it was like what Shadow said with Nocturne. Like you just have to grind, or Persona 4. You just have to grind. Because I would get to the boss, and it has like this like instant kill timer type of thing. Like if you don't beat it within a certain amount of time, it just starts launching super moves at you. I might be misremembering that, but I just remember I just didn't have enough firepower. So I just had to go back and grind and come back. And I just remember doing that so many times. But the one I do remember getting to the final boss, and I had to start the game over because it was a Parasite, the first Parasite Eve. And I just ran out of ammo. I don't think there's a melee attack, or the melee attack is almost useless. It's like trying to beat the final boss in Resident Evil with a knife, you might as well start the game over.
Yeah. I think in Parasite Eve there's like a club, like a little police baton or something like that you can use, but you can't use that. That'll get you killed.
Yeah, so thankfully that game's not that long, so I was able to. I just skipped through the cutscenes and powered through it pretty quickly, and I eventually beat it. But yeah, that was pretty brutal. That one was pretty brutal.
I actually have one more from back in the day. Now I think about it, it was Final Fantasy X. I was new to JRPGs when I played Final Fantasy X, and I thought it would be cool. I think everybody's played Final Fantasy X here. I think it would be cool to put Titus, whatever his name is, on Lulu's grid, Spirit Grid, while I'm playing the game, like playing the main story of the game. And I went through a whole bunch of trouble to get him on her Spirit Grid, and I got him all like the elemental attacks. And then I come up to a boss battle with Seymour, the second Seymour boss battle. Impossible to do without Titus actually being on his own grid. Completely impossible to do, because I think you need haste. You need haste, and you need his delay buster or something like that. And I could not do it at all. It took me. It was gonna take forever to grind out the necessary I think spirit points or whatever it was to get Titus back on track. And I was like, I couldn't do it. And then I think I stopped playing it for like months. And then I came back to it. I came back to it doing a new game. But yeah, a terrible decision. I like how in Final Fantasy X they get the spirit grid so you can pretty much go anywhere, but you really can't, because you have to stay on their own spirit grid so you can get the necessary skills to beat the bosses. Which in essence is pretty much like how Final Fantasy 13 did it. Now I think about it, but you know. The illusion of choice.
Made by the
Right, yeah, exactly.
Josiah Otaku asks, why is Trails of the Skies Sophisticated Fight OST so good?
Which one?
Trails of the Skies Sophisticated Fight.
A lot of people don't like that one.
I hate that.
I liked it. I love that. I don't care. I loved it. I love that battle theme. It just has a nice little beat to it. I think. I don't know why. I love it.
I didn't like it so much that I changed the music on.
I remember you saying that. Yeah,
I put it on. I put the Grandia 3 battle theme on there.
Yeah,
it's very upbeat. It doesn't sound like a battle theme, I think, is the problem a lot of people have. But I thought it was fine.
I thought it was great.
I think it's because it was like old Falcom music. It wasn't the new Falcom music that we're used to now. It was like the old PC Engine Falcom, where it was all like very MIDI, and it sounded weird. And here we go. Abe asks, let me think about it. He says, "Ha ha ha ha! No, it's clown music. A reason why I had the volume set to 0 most of the time when I played it." So my question is, name a bad battle boss theme.
A bad battle boss theme?
Or is this battle or boss theme?
Okay, a bad battle theme is Mine Zero. Well, look up the battle theme to Mine Zero. That is trash. That's probably the most boring battle theme I've ever heard.
Worst battle theme that I heard is the Persona 5 battle theme. No,
are you being serious? Or are you?
No, I'm joking. I just remember. I remember when we first played it at PSX, we were super confused at the battle theme. We're like, "This sounds so weird. It's so weird, a battle theme." And then it grew on us, and we really love it now.
Exactly.
But it was just weird at first. I just remember that.
Yeah, I didn't like it at first either. I was like, "Reach Out to the Truth" was way better than this trash.
Yeah.
But then it grew on me a lot. I'm not saying it's better than Reach Out to the Truth, but it grew on me.
Yeah, it really.
I don't like the Persona 5 Royal battle theme. I changed that one.
Ooh, Persona 5. I don't know what it sounds like.
I'm trying to remember it. I don't remember it actually.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
I don't remember it at all. Because I think I always got the original one, because you get that one when you actually sneak up on the shadows. And I always snuck up on the shadows, so I never really heard the royal one.
Yeah, I'm listening to the royal one. It's definitely not as good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of another. See, that's the problem. If a JRPG or RPG has a bad battle theme, there's a good chance I'm gonna hate it. Like, you're in battle most of the damn time, so the music had better point.
Yep.
A bad battle. A boss theme that really disappointed me is Ash's when you fight Ash in Tales of the Abyss.
Whoa, 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 whoa! But sir.
Hey, let me explain. Let me explain. All right.
If you're talking about meaning of birth, we have a problem.
No, I don't know. Meaning of birth. That one.
Oh my god!
Let me explain. Let me explain. The beginning is amazing. I love the beginning. Right? It like sets up to be an awesome song, and then it starts playing like flutes. And I'm like, no!
Wow.
That's the only reason.
That is literally in my top 5 best battle themes of all time.
It's not bad. It was just a huge disappointment because the beginning was so awesome. I was like, oh, this is an epic battle theme, and then flutes.
I think I could see where you're coming from on that one because the beginning is awesome.
Yeah,
and then it goes into like maybe a little mellow.
A somber battle theme, and I was like, oh no,
yeah,
I want to hear.
But nah, I love meeting him. Yeah, the beginning is definitely awesome.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's just it was disappointing to me.
Okay, fair enough.
I honestly, nothing really comes to mind. I'm trying to think of like the only one that I really didn't like. I mean, I don't even know if this would count. Is that it was like War of the Visions, the Final Fantasy Tactics mobile game. It's just the same song over and over, and it just gets old so fast. Like usually in Tactics, like every battle has a slightly different theme or it's different, but man, not good.
Yeah, I don't think that battle thing was very memorable.
Man, I'm trying to think of maybe it's hard to think of bad themes because you throw them out of your mind.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's like,
I really can't think of anything that's bad. Maybe one that was like a little bit annoying, but yeah, I really didn't care that much because it was supposed to be a little bit old school. Was Dragon Quest XI's battle theme? It wasn't bad. It was old school, so I didn't mind it. It wasn't all that epic, but
let me see what
I think I have one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's supposed to sound like that, old school stuff, but
That's the thing that really disappointed me just overall on the Dragon Quest XI soundtrack is there's like almost no new music. It's literally just the same songs over and over again. It's like, guys, we've been using these songs for like 30 years. Come on, let's like get some new tunes in here.
Oh yeah, it was literally just playing RPG Maker. That's what I was listening to. Oh my god,
RPG Maker music. It's great.
I mean, that's classic. Which RPG Maker though?
The one on PS1.
Yeah.
I think it was the second home theme. That one was really good.
No, I hope that's loud. Sorry, people. Okay, so here's one of the worst. Like, it's a really annoying song in Tales of Destiny. It's called "Relentless Assault." Listen to it, and then you're like, it's gonna like hurt your ears.
Wait, which one? For what?
For Tales of Destiny, Relentless Assault. Let me find it for you. I mean, there's that one. There's the PS1 version.
Yeah, this sounds a little bit shaky.
And I'm just glad that it's in like one boss battle, but I just remember like really grating my ears. That's worse in the remake for some reason.
Oh, it almost sounds like an alarm going off.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's just like, oh, I gotta beat him really quick. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, no. Yeah, jeez.
Even as a kid, that really annoyed me. So yeah, that was one boss battle. All right, I think I'm gonna save the rest for next time.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a fun episode, guys. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for joining me. Not coming back. Thanks for joining me on kind of a short notice, actually. But yeah, it was fun. Guys, if you want to join our Discord for awesome talking and anime, gaming, everything, we're gonna start doing some community gaming nights. We had one before. It was just playing a bunch of Jackbox games, and it was actually really fun.
Yeah, let's do Among Us. That'd be fun.
Yeah, Among Us was gonna be Among Us at first, but then I was like, hey, let's do something that everyone can play without buying anything for now.
I mean, Among Us is only $5. Come on, people. You ain't
And
got
hey, people were complaining about $5. You shouldn't.
I know, right?
But yeah, thanks for listening, guys, and we'll try to get another one out in a week, another episode, and if our schedules allow us to. But yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll be back. See ya.
Later.
Later.